Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is our third place finisher in the Classic Physique Pro division at the Arnold Classic, Courage Opara. Welcome.
Thanks, Dave.
I like that name, Courage.
It's a weird name.
It's not weird, it's good. What made your parents name you Courage?
I have no idea. I think I think it's a French name, Bon Courage, that they like transferred over to English. I'm not really.
Well, courage is, I mean, obviously we know what courage means, but it sounds better in French. Courage.
It does. It means a different thing to you. So.
That's true. But obviously you have the courage to get onto that Arnold Classic stage after a not so great finish at the Pittsburgh Pro last year, and you finished third, and you shocked a lot of people with some tremendous conditioning. You had great structure. You really matched up well against some of the top in the business. It had to be pretty exciting to stand up there with the Olympia champ, Breon Ansley, and second place finisher, Arash Rabar, and match up well with them.
Yeah, it was shocking. I wasn't expecting that.
Now, let's take a step back first, because you grew up in Nigeria. You lived there for 14 years of your life. You went to military school there. Your parents, your father was kind of like an ambassador of sorts.
Yeah.
What was that like growing up?
It wasn't fun because it was a military school run by soldiers, and over there I think their level of what's the word in terms of how strict they are is a lot different than they are here. We got beat a lot. Got punished.
How would they beat you over there? What would they hit you with, like a stick or something? What did they do?
Oh yeah, like sticks, switches. It was just a really strict upbringing. Like they had this little thing they made out of cow hides. It's like a whip of some sort. I think I got beaten by that a lot more than normal people.
Oh, so you got in a lot of trouble then when you were a kid?
It was trouble. It was like a strict regimented thing where you have to be at a certain place at a certain time, classes, dinner, and bed. So even a second late, you get like there were soldiers everywhere. It was one of those things where there was pretty tight ship. So I had to learn how to be at a certain place when I have to be and just be on time. It was just like a really strict military background.
It was like you were in jail essentially.
Basically, it was like I was in jail.
Were you scared? Was it a scary environment there? Like was it dangerous?
I mean, I got there when I was 9, so I was still a kid. So at that point, I think it was a scary. I still remember the very first day because the very first day when I got there, I got half my stuff stolen. So that's a great. So it was. I still remember like how it was. I was scared for the first 2 years. I think after that, you get used to the environment you were in, get used to the hunger and all that kind of stuff. So it became a normal day routine for me. So I was able to graduate. Oh, I didn't really graduate. I left and came here.
Now, you said hunger. Do they don't feed you enough there? What's the deal with that?
It wasn't. It's like it was 3 meals a day. You had your own provisions and stuff like that. But when it's like a seniority kind of thing. When you are at a younger class, you have it's sort of a bribe kind of thing, so you don't get in trouble with the senior guys. So I give them half my stuff so I don't get in trouble.
So they were stealing your lunch money essentially.
Basically, yes, that's the word. They stole.
Which is terrible for a little kid. It had to be traumatizing because your parents weren't there, obviously.
Yeah, I think I only saw them like once a month or a year. It depends on how busy they were because they were over here most of the times because my dad travels back and forth. And when they all moved here, I had to literally like cry and beg them to move back here with them. So it was one of those things where you have to learn how to like deal with hunger. You only have 3 meals a day, so it's like, and they weren't like really big meals. You just ate and then they kicked you out of the dining hall kind of thing. So
it was functional eating. It wasn't pleasurable eating.
It wasn't pleasurable eating, yes, and you had to rush it because there was something you had to be at in the next seconds or so.
Well, contest dieting must come real easy for you now because you're so well trained.
It's actually more food. I'll put it that much.
When you go through something like that, obviously as a young boy, it had to be very traumatizing to you. We're making light of it now, but I'm sure emotionally it was very traumatizing for you. Do you feel that it hardened you up a little bit?
Yeah, I think it is. I think my girlfriend can say that too. I think I'm more quiet than most people are. I don't really like going out places, and I can just stay at a place all day and not even flinch. It made me a lot different when I moved here. I think I'm changing a little bit because I'm learning how to come out there a little bit more. But I think my cousin and I were the only people in my family that went, and we were like built alike. We look the same, we act the same. So I'm guessing it's from the schooling that made us that way. But yeah, I think it hardened me up a lot, and kind of brings you up early as an adult because you're there by yourself, having to fend up for yourself, and it's pretty surreal. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like abuse.
Do you blame your parents for putting you there? Do you do you break their balls now?
I used to when I was younger in high school. When I came here, I was like, "Oh, look at my brothers! They're actually in a better state than I was." But I think now that I'm older and I have like real life experience, if that makes sense, like I understand that it's actually better off. I started off in a better spot than most of the people that I went to high school with. So I had like early experience, so things don't shock me as much, anyways.
Right. Well, you were protected also essentially in that military academy. I'm sure the guys who went to high school in Nigeria were not.
No, I was a way better spot than the rest of them, like out there.
So what made them decide to finally at 14 years of age bring you over to the United States? They moved there permanently?
I think my dad just decided, all right, time to bring him over here. No, they just brought like over, and I mean, I think we were already citizens here, so we were just like, all right, it's your turn, hopping over. Because I think he worked for the American Embassy for like 30 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for a while. Then he moved over here and then switched careers.
Gotcha. So you come over here. It had to be culture shock, I'm sure. You start going to school at 14, 15 years of age.
Yeah, my English wasn't perfect. I just spoke mostly French, Swahili, like other languages, and I had to learn basically from watching movies and playing video games, like the accent and stuff like that.
Give me a little Swahili. I always wanted to hear a little Swahili. Can you say something in Swahili?
I can. How you doing? Which means kedu. And you reply "Odima," which means it feels really good. Really good.
Tell me what you had for breakfast in Swahili. Can you do that?
I'm not as fluent as I used to be. I can add a little English in there.
Fake it. I won't know the difference.
Yeah, it's not as great as it once used to be. It's kind of different.
Give me a little Swahili, something. I don't want to just hear thank you and hello.
Let's see. Crap.
I'll play the teacher. I'm going to do it in English, so you answer me in Swahili, all right? Okay,
gotcha.
You're late for dinner. Now you're not eating anything. Get to your room.
I knew my new year in the coop.
That's probably you saying, I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, that's basically what I said.
All right, you get here. When do you get introduced to bodybuilding? How do you get into sports? What do you do when you're here at 14, 15 years of age?
I played soccer a lot over there. So when I moved here, I just tried out for the high school soccer team, made it. Played soccer all 4 years. I didn't start bodybuilding until freshman in college. It wasn't really bodybuilding because I think my senior year in high school, I tore my ACL, both of them. So I was just trying to go back to playing soccer. So all I did in the gym was do legs for like 6 months, just trying to recover my knees back. And someone goes, "Oh, you should compete." I'm like, "Oh, no, not really. I don't want to." Then I think I had a few friends doing the first show, 2015, and they forced me into it. So that's how I got hooked.
What year was that?
2015.
And how'd you do with that first show?
Overall, men's physique.
So your very first show, you win the overall.
Yeah, it was funny too. I did my own prep, and I can remember drinking milk the last 2 weeks.
And you still won.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't know what I was doing at all.
You probably went back to the boarding school regimen, right? 3 meals a day.
Just starve yourself. And
which works for men's physique pretty well.
Yeah, it really does.
But then you decided you wanted to do classic physique, and in 2016, the following year, you not only did you got your pro card. I mean, first shot out at Junior Nationals, right?
That's when I found Ray Baker over at Destination Boston here, and then he's been with me ever since. Like he kind of helped me out there. I had no idea what I was doing, so I just listened to him.
Was it shocking when he told you how to eat right and how to do all the things you weren't doing?
I'm used to eating 3 times, 4 times. 4 times, and he added like 3 other meals. I'm like, whoa, this is too much. But I fought him a lot first. Even till this day, I still fight him on a few things. We have a different philosophy, but I still listen to him 100%. So it was kind of shocking eating that much food, but it helps. I keep growing every year, so that's good.
Were you shocked that you got the pro card the first time? Because you didn't win. You came in second. They gave the pro cards to the top 2 in every class. Were you surprised that you actually snuck in there?
Yeah, I was looking at pictures now. I don't know how I won that show. I got second because I look like a man, like a tiny, tiny little like starving Ethiopian kid, like the flower face.
Well, you know, the look of Classic was a little smaller when it first started,
Yeah,
obviously. The
it was
classes
smaller.
were lighter, too. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you kind of fit in. Now you have to go up to the pro rank. So almost like you almost turned pro too quickly. Were you
yeah.
nervous the following year getting on a pro stage?
I really was. I didn't really. I just wanted to see how I stacked up against everyone else. It wasn't really. I just wanted to just see what it looked like. I felt like I was. I think I was 23 at that point. I felt I have years on me, and I think Bumstead was doing that show. So I was like, I was a big fan of his. I just wanted to see him in person to see what he looks like, and that's why I agreed to do Pittsburgh. But I wasn't planning on it at first, but it fell on my birthday too. It was just perfect. I just went.
You took fourth at that first pro show in the Pittsburgh Pro, right in front of Jim Mannion there, and the home of the NPC, IFBB. And then you did something odd. You did another show.
Yeah.
Several weeks later, the
Yeah.
Chicago Pro, and you were placed like last place. What happened at that show?
It wasn't the perfect prep. I prepped. I think I took a couple weeks off, and while I wasn't really in the mood to do that show, it was one of those things where I think I was pressured. It was like I already said, "Oh, I'm going to do this show," and then I didn't really want to, and I just forced myself into it. It wasn't a really great prep. I didn't really have. I just wanted to get the show over with. It's not one of the situations you want to be in. I just wanted to get in and get out. I didn't really stay or anything.
Right. So you got your feet wet in 2016 in the pro ranks, and then 2017 starts coming closer and closer. Excuse me, 2018 comes around, and you decide you're going to do the Arnold Classic. What made you pick that show? Because that's got to be that was the inaugural Arnold Classic Physique.
Yeah.
And you knew it had there was a lot of top guns in there, including the Olympia champ in that lineup. What made you decide to go to that show?
It was. I've always wanted to do the Arnold just because I've never been to the Arnold, and I wanted to go. Whenever I go, I want to go to compete. And the first show I ever did was Phil Heat, which at that point was the biggest show in Texas. I just figured I like doing big shows, might as well just jump right into it. My goal was just top 10, just so they can reimburse me for the prize money and stuff. I just wanted them to pay for my flight and stuff like that because I'm a college kid. We're broke 99% of the time.
There you go. Look, you aside from, I mean, you really won the show if you think about it. I mean, Breon Ansley was the Olympia champ. Arash was second at the Olympia. Those two guys were like, light years ahead of everyone else. But then you beat everyone else in the lineup, and there was some good guys, including Danny Hester, who was the first Mr. Classic Physique Olympia. So you had to be thrilled out of your mind to get that third place.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Danny back there. I'd never seen that much. Like, he had no skin. It was just weird. Like, I want to look like that at some point, but I saw him. I was like, there is no way. So it was shocking when they called me third, and I was like, wow, that's pretty great. But I was happy about that.
Danny's been training. Danny's my age. He's like almost 50. So Danny's been training his whole life. That's just serious muscle maturity when you look at it. The fact that he's still competing at such an elite level is incredible when you think about it. But let's take a step back now. So now you've gotten your feet wet in the big leagues, the Arnold Classic. You're top 3. What's next? Like, do you have a strategy, or are you just kind of winging it? What's the plan?
The plan's actually to get into Fargo in about, I think, 11 days. I just want to see if I can qualify. If not, take the rest of the year off. But I think that's it. Qualify and try to fight for the Olympia at some point.
Yeah. So you want to basically qualify for the Mr. Olympia this year. Obviously, winning a pro show would go a long way to do that. And so what are you targeting? Which show again? I didn't hear what you said.
Fargo, it's about days.
Okay.
Upper Midwest, I think that's the name of it.
Right. So so obviously you're still dieting at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you look like you got all your eggs in a row. Now you're in college for what? What are you majoring in?
I actually finished last year, December. I got exercise science, and I have a minor in nutrition. But I'm actually trying to go back just because I want to be a strength and conditioning coach. So I want to get that cert done probably sometime next year. I'm taking this year off.
Okay, well you're allowed to take a year off. The problem is when you take a year off, you never go back. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Especially if you start doing well in physique. How do you see yourself making some sort of a career in the physique world? I mean, what do you like to do? Do you do diets for people? Do you like to train people? I mean, where do you see yourself fitting in, so to speak, aside from just on the stage?
Gotcha. I like training people. Just that's what I went to school for, studying exercise science and stuff like that. But it's not. I'm just not focusing everything on like trying to make all my money from bodybuilding and stuff. I want to have other branches, just because I feel that's a better route.
Right.
But yeah, I do like training on people a lot. It's kind of where I get my most fun out of, just learning new stuff and trying to put that into perspective. I have followed a lot of people that are like in the same field, yourself, Matt Jensen, those kind of people, just so I can learn more.
Do you see yourself going into politics like your father at all?
Probably not.
You never know.
No, I'm way too quiet for that.
You could be the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria. There you go.
Yeah, he's that's his thing, not mine.
Dad could groom you. You can groom him and get him in the gym. Do your parents work out?
I was basically in jail.
Does anyone else in your family work out at all?
Yeah, my brothers do. They're actually, I think they have way more better genetics than I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my younger brother, he's actually the smartest of all of us, but he's also the best in terms of genetics. He doesn't do much and looks better than me, just smaller.
It's always the guys that everything comes easy to. They don't put any effort into it.
He has no idea what he has on. He just walks around like that.
Well, courage. You had some big courage getting up there on that Arnold Classic stage, and congratulations on the third place finish. And hopefully we'll see you qualify for the Olympia in a couple weeks, and we'll see you up on the big stage.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that's going to take us, guys, to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.